we're going to be answering your guys' questions about ROTC.
Okay, my money way longer than a NASCAR race. I told her keep going.
Hey guys, what's up? So today we're going to be doing a Army ROTC Q&A because so many of you guys had so many questions on the last Army video. So I'm going to put out that Q&A. I don't know if this is before or after my first quarter in ROTC video because I just filmed that along with this, but I'm separating it into two videos because they were too long. So here's the ROTC Q&A for you guys. If you guys have any other questions or recommendations, let me know. First question by the Reckless Rager, said, so if I signed up for any branch of military with ROTC but I don't get a scholarship, does the military still help pay for the college? So if you don't get a scholarship, no, but yes, some schools will offer other benefits, like let's say you're in the program, they may still pay for housing, or Army will still give you like some other benefits, but initially, no, they're not going to pay for your tuition or the housing option. You're not going to get like the stipends and stuff like that. You need to receive a scholarship. And like I said, it's pretty easy to receive a scholarship up until like your junior year. They basically like kind of give them away. I mean, I don't know how bigger universities work, but if you have a good PT score and whatnot, then you're in good standing. So what exactly is the 8-year commitment by Allison Lynn? 8-year, like I said, so you can do 4 years of active duty and 4 years inactive ready if you want. And basically that means that like 4 years you're living on a base, you're like doing Army stuff, whatever your station is, that's what you're doing. And then the 4 years of you're not in it, like you're only gonna get called in if you're in like a World War III. So yeah, or you can go straight National Guard or Reserve, which means you work your civilian job and you only have to like go to drill like 1 week in a month. So you can do that. But like I said, also if your company does get deployed or they get a deployment, then you're going and your job's just gonna like they work with that. And if you're a pilot or if you're anything like that, the commitment is like a 10-year commitment because you go to school initially for 2 years after you're out. So it's like a 10-year commitment. So yeah, keep that in mind. Ireland Gross said, wait, okay, so is it either me being slow or didn't you say you have to enlist in some form of the Army after the full year scholarship? Okay, so no, enlisting is different from like being an ROTC. When you enlist, it's those kids who like, let's say they graduate and then they go directly to boot camp and they like sign off and they're enlisting. That's an enlisted rank. Yeah, you're going into the Army after, but we're not enlisted, if that makes sense. If you join ROTC and don't get a scholarship, can you drop it? Alyssa Zadra. So yeah, you can. Obviously, you can drop it anytime. Even if you have a scholarship and you don't want to be in the program anymore, you can drop. Just keep in mind that everything the ROTC have paid, you have to pay back. So yeah, super easy. If you don't have a scholarship after the first 2 years, you can drop. It's simple as that. Did you have to take the ASVAB? No. Okay, someone said, what did you apply to first, the scholarship or the college? Also, did you have good SAT scores? Because I don't know if mine are good enough for a scholarship. Okay, well, first off, so I applied to the college first, and then I did the scholarship. And the reason you should do that is because when you're applying for the scholarship saying that you get it, they'll send you back and they'll make you select off of your list of like 8 to 10 schools, and they'll say select your top 3. So you're gonna want to pick the top 3 that you got accepted to, because if you select it and then as your scholarship option, and then they're like, okay, great, you got your scholarship, here's your 3 options to go to school in the program, but then you get back from the school and they're like, we didn't accept you, then you're kind of just SOL'd because you didn't get accepted into the school. So apply to the school, then apply to the scholarship, or at least just if you know that you're gonna get into the school, put it down, or at least have one school on there that you got accepted to, so you know you're in safe standing. Breezy B said, do you have to be in ROTC class in high school for this to be applicable? No, you don't have to be in an ROTC class in high school. I was not in JROTC whatsoever. Knew nothing about it. My dad's a first sergeant. That's the only like connection I had. So go for it. Rejoice Spencer said, do you feel like it was hard for you to receive the 3-year scholarship? Were you involved in a lot of things in high school? So from what I heard, it's like rather like it's harder than it is in college to get a scholarship like out of high school, because they have like, I want to say around 12,000 people apply, but only like 3,000 get it, or it's either like 12,000 get it and more than that apply. I don't remember, but it's kind of like a smaller number. 4 years are rare, but like 3 years are pretty common to get. If you're getting a scholarship. Yes, I was involved in a lot of things in high school. I was like National Honor Society, National Technical Honor Society, Key Club, Student Council, Class Officer, FBLA, DECA. Like, I was in every single club. So I was super involved, and I was in sports. But like I said, my GPA was a 4.2, but like I said, my ACT was bad. Someone asked that earlier, forgot to answer that. I only got a 21 on the ACT. I don't know what that's equivalent to on a SAT. I never took it, but my ACT is like below average probably. I can't take test. And I still got a 3-year, so keep that in mind. Danny D. Leo said, are you able to go to grad school after you graduate from college before going into the Army? If you get the scholarship and commit to Army for a certain amount of years, or do you have to go straight to Army? So no, you don't. You can work this out with your company. Actually, my best friend is gonna complete grad school. She's an ROTC. And what they can do is, like, let's say you haven't contracted yet, or you're contracting as, let's say, a junior for a 3-year scholarship, they can make that 3rd year cover your grad school year, saying that you're at a university that will cover a 5-year. But if not, you can still go to grad school after, but you'll still have the 8-year commitment when you get out of grad school. But yeah, so you can go to grad school, and the Army can potentially pay for it. Kyle said, what were some of your criteria that got you the 3-year scholarship, as in GPA, test scores, college major, and things like that? Thanks. So I kind of just talked about that. I was in a lot of activities. I like sports, good PT, because you have to like send in a PT score. My ACT was garbage. My grades are really good though. And you have to just do an interview and just talk about what you're interested in, and also leadership positions. And for me, I'd been like a lead lifeguard for a year, and I've like lifeguarded for like 3 years of my life. So that was like a big like leadership position, and being a class officer. So a lot of leadership position is pretty good. Is there a way to do ROTC if you're already a sophomore in college, or do you have to be a freshman? No, like I said, you can be a junior if you want to join. Contact whoever you need to, look it up, your school, and you can go join. Okay, this is a good one. So someone said, what's it like for prior service cadets? I'm seriously considering this one once my contract ends. So there is actually quite a bit of prior service people in the ROTC like world, I guess. The thing is, so with this, like, I can't speak for prior service because I'm not prior service, but like from what I've seen, we have like a mom, and she's like 25, and she's like a way older, and she has kids, and she's prior service. She had like a deployment under her belt and everything. And we have like older guys like that. A lot of them have this attitude walking in that they're like better because they do have more experience. I'll grant that, but like don't act like that, because then people aren't gonna like want to talk to you, because you're giving off this vibe that you just think you're like better than everyone, which we know you all do know more than us. You've like been more whatever, you know a lot more. But I've also seen the other end of prior service cadets, like the mom, like I said, and she's absolutely amazing. She's the like best like person to go to for advice, because she's been there, she knows, she's been in like the work field, and like that type of prior enlisted is exactly what you need, because they're put in, I'm sure it seems so much easier, and we seem super stupid because we haven't went through boot camp, some of us, because some do go to boot camp, and we don't know like necessarily everything that like the prior service people do. But a lot of them still like it because you're still getting to be an officer out of it. And when you get out, you get the officer enlisted pay, which is even better than an officer pay, because then you're getting paid as being like prior enlisted and an officer. So it is something to consider. Maybe try it. It can still pay for your college. I mean, you have the GI Bill anyways to pay for college if you want to still go. But yeah, definitely look into it if that's what you want to do. I've seen both ends of the scale. They love it. They hate it. But for us, it's been like pretty good for the other cadets who aren't prior enlisted, because it really just helps them like get to know what it's like and see these people who are in more of a leadership position than us, and just like take from them. So, did you do boot camp in the summer? Jasmine M asked. No, I didn't do boot camp, but there's a different camp we do have to go to, and it's called basic camp, and basic camp is different from like basic. which basic is what the enlisted people go to, and we go to a thing called basic camp, and you can either go to that or you get into a specialty school like airborne air assault, and that's after your sophomore year. So we still go to like one of the camps, but that'll be not this upcoming summer, but summer after that for me. But yeah, so I have not gone to a camp, but eventually I will go to a camp, and you don't have to have gone to no prior service, no prior anything to be like ROTC at all. You have to take, so someone said they're just starting in 2 weeks. They're not eligible for 4-year, but do freshmen have to take certain classes in order to be eligible for 3-year or scholarship during sophomore year? Do you basically just take whatever class you want freshman year and then reapply that spring? No, start taking your ROTC class when you start school as a freshman, and go to PT and all of that so you can be applied for the 3-year scholarship that sophomore year. So like I said, if you don't go in for high school, get one for high school, and you start your freshman year, just go to PT, do your best at PT, enroll in the class, do your best in the class, and then you can be up for the 3-year. So don't skip out that first year because that'll put you out of the drawing for the 3-year, but you can still get a 2-year. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, so someone asked about pre-med, specifically Air Force, but I know Army, not Air Force, obviously, but would I be able to go to med school during that time I would have to serve? Would I still be able to become a doctor after that? So I don't know about the doctor thing, but I know a lot of girls who are nurses because we have Army nurses, just like Navy and Air Force have like the nurse program too. And you can get a scholarship. Well, I think Air Force does, I don't know, but I know Navy and Army have the ROTC nurse program, and you get a nurse scholarship specifically, and when they get out they get put as like a nurse to like doctors or whatever, and they do their commitment through doing that. I'm sure you could probably go to medical school. I don't know, you'd have to talk to like one of the ROTC people once you get in, but I know for a fact you can go medical as a nurse at least and do that. So, and when you get out, you're not in a regular like battalion, you're not doing like regular stuff, you're in a hospital and you're working with civilian doctors and nurses, just as many of the Army people will be there too. So guys, that's it for this week's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment in the down below. All my links will also be in the down below. And if you guys want to know anything else about Army, ROTC, me, sorority, like whatever you want to know, let me know in the down below, and I'll get back to you guys. So peace, love you all.
Okay, my money